Today is a great day to make an impact. So this marks my 9-year anniversary of not working a job this past Memorial Day. And I've really been reflecting on how this has been so special to me and how this all started. It all started when I was working at Scott's Miracle Grow. And this past Bible study, this past weekend, I actually talked about knowing who you are with and knowing who you are. And I'm royalty. And I realized this while working at Scott's Miracle Grow. And I remember when I first started at Scott's Miracle Grow, my wife and I, we were looking for a job, and we applied to the temp agency, and we both got accepted at Scott's Miracle Grow. And it was perfect because we had just got married and we needed to make some money, and we were still finishing school, and we wanted to be able to drive together. And at the time we were collection specialists, and we would collect money. And I remember telling my wife, like, hey, you know, we need to get this extra money. It was only $20 extra a week that they would give if you were able to qualify as somebody that like stands out. And that person would spend more time on the phones, not take breaks or opt out or anything like that for personal time. And I would do it, and my wife said, I'm not doing all that. They give us that for a reason. But I was like, man, this could be gas money. And because of it, I actually got offered a job. So when they laid off a ton of people, hundreds of people, and they were scaling the way they were doing things, and they decided to keep me full-time and one other person. The only problem was I was going to school to be a doctor, so I had to work a certain amount of hours. So I say, hey, I got to work these amount of hours. Are you going to be able to work with this? And they say, yes. They said, well, we'll allow you to be an auditor for the branch in Columbus. And I said, okay, that's perfect. They said, but it's only one thing. You have to do sales first for the first couple of months. And I was like, sales? Like, I'm thinking like, I'm not about to do door-to-door or anything like that. I'm not about to do any sales. But I said, okay, I'll do it for a couple of months. And being in the sales room was different for me. But in my mind, I was only going to do it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And I remember it was like 20 people, and I was all the way at the bottom of the sales team. And I remember my first week, I got a sale. I just called a friend or family member and asked them to support me. The next week I had 0. And the next week I ran into a sale and got one. And they were talking, the other reps was talking smack, you know, saying, the doctor, he doesn't have to get any sales or anything like that. Like, they were just essentially saying I was whack. And I was like, man, I overheard them talking. I was like, man, they don't know who I am. So I started to listen to what they were saying and doing to have success. And I started to study and read books on plants and grass and all this stuff. I mean, I was studying like I was studying at Ohio State. And I started to move up the board and, you know, become in the middle and then top 4. And then I became #1 in the room. And then eventually #1 in the company. And, you know, it's crazy. It was just because I was determined in my mind. I knew that I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me. I knew that I could do anything. And I didn't care about how they felt about me. I needed to show them who I was. I always have thought like that. Like, I got to separate myself. I know who I am, and I know what the Bible says about me, so I'm going to do it. And I was able to move my way up, and at 22 years old, become a manager. And I worked my way with the company, and had even met the CEO of the company, and was doing really good. And it was crazy because I remember seeing my boss check and thinking, wow. I said to him, you get paid that much to sit at a desk? And it really just shifted my thinking. And I ended up, you know, even though I had a full ride, even to medical school, I ended up not even doing that because I realized that I could get done with school sooner and that I could continue to work my way up with this. And it's funny because that same mindset I've done with everything, even being a technician. I would have to be a technician and treat the grass and stuff at Scott's because during the off season they would need help and support, and I would do it. And they would be like, wow, Steve, does such a good job working on the ground, because I've always been like that. I've always separated myself. I've always wanted to be the exception and represent Christ in everything that I say and do. So I want you guys to understand that. The reason why I always talk about the Bible and stuff like that is because I want you to also understand who you are and know who you are with. Because you can do anything. You can have any. It doesn't matter that that wasn't my skill set, or I was a nerd and going to school to be a doctor or anything like that. What matters is knowing who you are, and you can do anything you put your mind to. You can do it. Whatever you want, you can have if you put the work in. So remember that Cleveland rocks, Jesus saves, Hawks smash, and Impact change lives.